Yes. So this is Urotherapy training class number 37, the first of a 5-part series. And we're going to explore everything you can ever imagine that you'd want to know about this therapy. Where did it start? What's it all about? What are the key components that makes it work? Why would it work for everybody but not work for everybody? And I'm going to explain why there's a way to make it work for everybody if they just make some lifestyle changes. You're going to learn all the ingredients. Of course, we've discovered, thanks to a university in Canada, they have identified 5,662 nutrients, metabiomes, whatever you want to call these substances in there. And the link's available if you ever want that link.
Yeah, I would want that link actually. So,
Check your email. I think I shot it out to you.
okay, thank you.
But I have my notebook here in case I need to carry on more notes. All right, so we're going to go through. This is just the first class, so it's basically a meet and greet each other. So you get to share your journey. Araya gets to share her journey. And we can just start off with Q&A. I'm going to show you all the books that I have in my collection of urine therapy books. Also going to show a variety of accessories, equipment, and supplies that you can use if you don't already have these things. For example, oh, you got the roll-on?
Oh yeah, I watched it. Your on Facebook, your
Oh,
video, and I bought them. So this is
oh my God.
aged urine. So this is
It's,
like when you open it up, you can smell the ammonia. Like
yeah.
yeah,
So
pretty.
yours is cobalt blue.
Yeah, cobalt blue. Yeah, exactly.
All right, does it have the rubber? You got the metal
I,
roller.
I get the metal roller.
All right. I got mine from a local health food store in Kauai, and that's all they had, and I didn't care because I wanted to use it for demo purposes. So did,
Matt is looking at me. What's going on?
did yours come with a 2-pack, 4-pack, 6-pack, or something?
I bought like a 6-pack or something. So
Okay.
yeah. So
What I recommend with all the things that you're going to be using when you build this into a lifestyle, for example, a dropper bottle,
right.
spray bottle with the pump,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
a
Actually,
spray bottle with this kind of tip to it,
right. Right. For the nose or
the nose, the
nasal.
ears, the wherever. What's
Right.
so beautiful about this practice is that use your intuition. You can come up with ways that I hadn't figured out.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So
Where's
I'm
the
in,
tail? Oh my God.
I'm into this so deep that I keep containers and little accessories like these bottles in the car, in the hip pack, in the glove box, in the medicine cabinet, underneath the bathroom sink,
right.
all over the place. So wherever you are, if there's an emergency situation, a cut, a scratch, a bruise, a headache, sunburn, you know what to grab.
Exactly. Some blood plasma filtrate.
Mhm.
It's a urine, like ew. But if I say blood plasma filtrate, then you know, then it's more conducive to people, coming around to drinking their urine. Anyways,
Well, you're getting good at knowing your audience and how to frame your words. So some people will hear you, and other people will bounce right off of them.
yeah, exactly. So, anyways, for me, it doesn't matter. If people like, if they look at me like I'm with stunned look in their eyes, it doesn't really matter. For me, the truth is the truth, and I know the truth, and so yeah, so
And you don't have to vary it, and you don't have to defend it.
yeah, exactly, right? I mean, yeah. So, anyways, go on. I mean, with your what you're gonna say.
All right, so we're going to learn some of the ingredients and some of the things that inspired me, which I'll just show you really quick. You've heard of the Golden Fountain?
Yeah, I didn't buy that book, but yeah, it's on my list. I get some other books, but yeah.
All right, this is the original cover. And then 10, 15 years later, this is the newer cover.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Saw that on Amazon.
I like this. I like this one better because it has the gold water coming down, pouring down
Right.
from the glass.
That's awesome. That's
I think Oria is
the
trying to
red,
get
the blue. It's got
it's the medium.
infrared.
Good. Hold on a second. I'm going to call her. All right, our waterfall sister has returned.
Yay. No,
Welcome back.
it's it's still lagging a little bit. Let me give it a second and see. Thank you.
Okay. Pour a little Shivambu in your system. Pour it in
Okay,
your
let me try that.
pour it on your hard drive.
I might need some rice afterwards.
Well, you can learn some of the silly things that our minds go through when we still have an old belief that urine is not what we know it to be. Like a lot of people still have the disgust factor until they get a new association with Orin and find out that the truth is this is a golden elixir. This is a remedy for everything. And it'll clean off everything. People clean off their countertops, their mirrors, their car windows. And I remember doing enemas, and every now and then the tube will pop out of your backside, and you got urine spilling on the bathroom floor. And at first, I'm going, and I started laughing my head off. I'm going, clean the floor.
That's one way to do it.
We have to change our belief systems.
So when you use it as a cleaner, is it more aged urine or is it more fresh urine?
I love that question because it's an intuition. Water. Let me just go back to the chart. You guys all got the Shivamba wisdom chart.
Yeah.
I'm sure you got it by email. The very first point is it's an intuitive water. So you're going to think these thoughts and you're going to reach out to me or somebody in the community and say, should I use fresh for this or aged for that, which I call evolving. Either one's going to work.
Well, one's not better than the other. Oh, I guess
No.
it's a intuition, I guess, right? I guess.
Yeah, the evolving one has more strength. That's about it. More potency, more stem cells.
Right, right. More stem cells. Okay. Excellent.
And I've not had a scientific research done to determine whether it cleans better than the fresh.
That's a
Okay.
good question.
Yeah.
Is that a good question?
Yeah. Also, like
Oh, you
in
have
one
one?
of your podcasts, you had like whether if it's frozen, if it changes like the molecular structure of it.
Yeah.
That was a really good question too, but I think it does. I think it does. And I think aged would, like my intuition says yes, it would change the frozen, and yes, aged would be a better cleaner. It's more like
Yeah.
astringent, you know?
Yeah. I agree, and most people would go in that direction. And when people ask me questions, I'm honest enough to admit if it's not my field of study, like science and quantum physics or rocket science or whatever, I'll say go find someone who knows that subject. I come from 46 years of being a holistic health practitioner and seeing everything through the eyes of nature and plants and the human body, mind, and spirit to heal itself. And so I don't get into too high technical conversations. I don't go near political conversations. And I keep it back to you can heal anything if you have your mind set in the right place. And one of the points in the Shivamba wisdom chart is the only thing you cannot heal is what you believe you cannot heal. The word incurable actually means incurable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
All
I
right.
disqualifies everything else.
The word disease, take it apart. What do you get? Lack of
Just
ease.
ease.
Is
Yeah.
ease. So area, that pronounce
Araya.
aria,
Araya. Like a ray of sunshine.
a ray
Array.
of sunshine. Thank you. Did you bring golden water with you?
I did indeed.
Awesome. All right. So though we cannot see you holding your golden, lovely water of gold,
Okay, hold on, hold on. Where's the
the men will hold the space for you.
Our men will hold this.
Wait a second. Hold please. Okay.
Oh, look at you.
Cheers. I've got my headset on.
All right. This is what we're going to do, Araya. I'm going to read a sacred water prayer from the Healing Water from Within book.
Okay.
You heard of this book?
Oh yeah, I've read it twice.
Okay. What this was the original, and what's out on Amazon right now is second edition.
Okay.
Mhm.
This is all the new stuff. Okay, so the Sacred Water Prayer is a Native American traditional prayer. Have you guys ever done kirtan?
I haven't even heard of that. What is it?
No.
Devotional chanting.
Okay.
It's chanting like
Oh, yeah.
Krishna Das. You've heard of Snatam Kaur. You've heard of Deva Premal.
Uh,
Doesn't matter. Okay,
no.
so here's the kirtan style of doing this prayer. There is what's known as the caller, which will be me, and the responder, which will be you guys. So I'll read a verse, and then you'll repeat it. And at the end, down the hatch. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. I take this water of life.
I take
I
this water.
take this water of life.
I declare it the water of light.
I declare it the water of light.
As I bring this water within this body,
As I bring this water within this body,
this body.
it allows me to glow.
it allows me to glow.
I declare it the water. Oh, I take this water of light.
I take this water of light.
I declare it the water of God or creator.
I declare it the water of God or creator.
I am the master of all that I do and all that I am.
I am the master of all that I do and all that I am.
So be it.
Cheers.
So be it.
L'chaim, Prost.
Behind.
Take one. Ah. She knows the power of swishing and gargling.
Yes.
Yes,
For
yeah,
sure.
I know.
By the way, when you get those guys who put it in their mouth and they swish it around and they feel really happy because they paid attention to oral health, gums, teeth, tongue, etc., and they spit it out, look at them with that puzzled look because they just sterilized everything that was in their mouth, and that's when you swallow it.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the components of the Shivamba wisdom chart is that this water will alchemize or sterilize anything it touches. Right? What's ever in your mouth, what's ever in your bathtub. If you don't have enough water to fill up the bathtub, just pee in the bathtub. It'll sterilize the city garbage that's in the city water.
Wow.
Anybody want to admit they pee in the bathtub?
It's me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Of
You
course.
guys are
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
You're okay. You're all right.
I
So-
inhale the vapors.
You held, that'll work really well. So what I do is show you no, let's start off with you guys. Let's do it this way. Each
Uh-oh.
one of you, if you will, take you go on, Dario, you go first, if you will. Just give us a little background on your journey. How did it get started? What was your inspiration and what's it looking like today?
Well, my inspiration was it first started about 30 years ago. That's when I first learned the Ayurvedic medicine, and they said that to take an 8-year-old urine, that's how they would heal, the body, or if someone has a disease, right? But I never really got into that from 30 years ago. But then just 6 weeks or 2 months ago on Facebook, I watched somebody. I watched a video with somebody who says that he was using aged urine and it healed everything. And then for some reason, I just thought, okay, let me just learn more about this urine therapy. And then lo and behold, I kept on doing it, and I ran into Dr. Group, and then there was a video of you and Dr. Group together. That's how I found out about you.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, and I'm thinking like 30 years I haven't been using this golden elixir. It's like even right now I'm getting chilled right now just by saying that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's it. It's really good. It's fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, I can't tell you how grateful I am. Yeah, yeah.
It's a life changer, a lifesaver in all kinds of different
I
ways.
mean, and it's free. I mean, like Yeah, and again, I can go on and on and on about this, right? Because I'm also into health and and lots of other things too as well. And I've done like everything regarding jobs and what have you, right? So, um, but this is just key, right? It's like, so whenever if I think about not wanting to drink this urine, I just think about apple juice. Well, I never liked apple juice, and it's basically it's the same kind of color as apple juice. I never liked apple juice, but now, I love it. I love it. You know what I mean? So, again, it's just about changing the mindset. Just like 10 years ago, like the saturated fat. Saturated fat was so bad, right? But then I read it that it was good for my body. But then after when I eat, bacon or coconut oil, whatever, and that has saturated fat in it, but my mind has had like had overcome this knowledge that for 30 years, saturated fat is so bad for my body, right? So it's like, so it's same thing with the urine, right? I have to get over this thing about that it's bad for me. It's a waste product. No, it's not a waste product. This is distilled water. And
Yep.
then on top of that, it has all the this is like a multivitamin. You know what I mean? So
You're drinking a whole health food store full of superfoods.
yeah, exactly. Like who needs blueberries? Well, I eat the blueberries, but you know what I mean? But who needs all the vitamins, right? This is it. It's free. You know what I mean? So
Be careful what you say about fruit because I live in Hawaii and I'm a fruitarian and
oh, I love fruit. I love fruit. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, anyways,
okay.
that's my story. Hope I didn't take too long in sharing that story, but
You're fine. By the way, Araya, I'm about to ask you the question. How much time do you guys have for class? And the reason I ask that because sometimes students have things come up, or they got to attend to their children, or they forgot they had a business luncheon. And so, if you guys ever want to cut out sooner, let me know.
okay,
I've got time. So I've got the full time.
yeah.
All right, Araya, the floor is yours. Give us a little bit of backstory about your journey and where you're at with it right now.
Okay, so here's my watermelon. This is pretty much all I eat. So it gives me all the water I need, but I still make it a point to drink the morning urine. But after when it gets like watery, just like it doesn't have any more gold color, I'll just save that for enemas or whatever. But I've been fruitarian for like 3 years, so this is just my next step. Uh, yeah, this is definitely taking it further because all the healing that comes along with just eating fruit. It's pretty intense detoxing. And it's been four or 5 months. So I've got to the point where it's past like all the healing crisis things that happen, like zits and diarrhea. But so yeah, now that's it.
Excellent. Well, you look great.
Thank you.
So keep at it. Um, did you guys get a copy of the Shivambu Wisdom Chart?
I have the
Yeah, it has a chart with a picture in the background of Shiva.
Shivamba wisdom chart. Yeah.
Yes. Um,
Is it Gmail or in the book?
yeah, I Gmailed you.
Okay, let me check.
It hasn't made it into the book yet. Maybe in another edition. But you'll pick up on it. And if you don't have it, remind me, I'll email it to you.
Here it is. Oh wait, that's the link for the Zoom class. Yeah, I just resend it another time, I guess.
Okay, I'm gonna make a note here. Email Araya the wisdom chart. So the wisdom chart is key components of what makes Shivambu what it is and why it works. First on the list, now I'm going to quiz you on every class to see how well you studied this stuff.
Don't quiz me.
We
I
have
haven't
pop
read it
quiz.
in like a month.
That's okay. It's not like school where you go, it's pass fail. No, no, please don't do that. So number one on the list, it's an intuitive elixir. You can use the word elixir, you can call it a remedy, you can call it panacea. Now, since we're not doctors and we don't prescribe and we don't diagnose and we don't participate in the fake medical system, oops, I said that on live, we don't use the word medicine. You can if you want to, but I'm kind of like moved into calling it a panacea, an elixir, or a remedy. Okay, number one, it's intuitive, which means your inner guidance system, known as your intuition, will answer all your questions about morning urine, afternoon, how many quantities, fasting, enemas, everything you want to know about it, whether you use fresh or aged, so that you don't have to keep calling up Brother Sage. I have people reach out from all over the world with questions. I know if they would sit with it, they'd get their own answers. So that's number one. Number two, I'm just going to check the list just to be sure.
Mhm.
Shivamba works regardless of your considerations, meaning this water is so easy to use that there's no dogma required, no rules. You don't have to follow traditions, none of that stuff. You just have to use it. Any way you can use it, and you're going to get the benefits. Another way to tell that it works regardless of your consideration, and if you haven't heard this before, Araya, and maybe you too, Dario, it works regardless if you use a man's or a woman's,
Urine.
adult or a child, a
The
healthy person,
llamas.
llamas, I was going to get there, a different species. It could be a camel or a holy cow from India, or a different race. It will still work. We have all kinds of stories and testimonials of mothers who remembered the old ways of treating their children with urine, and they healed their 8-year-old, 10-year-old using their urine. You know, I've got a story
Wow.
about a 19-year-old man, boy man, whatever you want to call him, young man with autism. And his caregiver gave him her urine until he figured out he could collect it himself. I kept checking in with him every couple of weeks or months. And one day I called and she had me on the speakerphone and he said, "Is that Brother Sage?"
Aw.
Brought me to tears because he couldn't track before and he was always doing the shaking, you know, autism thing. And it healed him. So, okay. So regardless of your considerations, it's still going to work. Number three, Shivambu alchemizes or transforms anything it touches. Do you guys understand what that means?
Mm. Can you repeat that again?
Shivambu or Orin will sterilize or alchemize anything it touches.
Yeah. Okay.
Basically, what it does is it cleans it up and then it assimilates it so it's now part of the Orin.
Right. Kind of transforms it, I guess.
You could say transforms it, metamorphoses it, whatever you want to call it. That's one of its properties. Shivambu, now I don't use the word aged and aging in any of my classes or books because most people associate the word aging with you're losing your power and your strength, you're getting old and weak.
Right.
So I call it evolving or evolutionary water, which is a metaphor for us as human beings. We evolve. Why not drink water that helps us in that evolution? So that's why we do that. Saturation dosing, have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it, but I don't know, like how to do it.
Okay, when we get into the protocols, I'm going to go more into depth and detail. Saturation dosing is basically the inclusion of the topical protocols as well as the oral protocol, the oral application, so you can drive more nutrients into all those different systems, organs throughout the body directly versus waiting for it to get in the bloodstream and then be circulated out to the liver and the spleen and the heart and et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Now, people who just drink it is fine, but that's the slow route. If you've got people who are really hurting and they're really sick and suffering, You start talking about saturation dosing, and they'll start including foot soaks and bathing and enemas and fasting and eye rinses and nasal snorting and et cetera. And they start getting better quicker. All right, keep in mind that there are no side effects, after effects, or bad effects from using your water. So if people still have the concern that they might overdo it, all right, you got to understand that we're approaching our self-healing from the natural approach and not the medical program or filter, which most people, that's been their go-to for like 3 or 4 generations. We've been so programmed to think, how does the doctor do it in his world, that we forget that our body has an intuition and nature has an answer that's far better and far easier, not as complicated. The only thing you cannot heal is what you say you cannot heal, which I've said before. Shivambu is in a category all to itself. We've discovered that as much as I've been talking about this practice for the last umpteen years, there's complexities and depths to it that are still yet to be discovered. So do your personal exploration and find out what secrets will be revealed by using your water and returning it to yourself. So basically what the body does, the intuition, excuse me, the innate intelligence of the body, that's a chiropractic term. The innate intelligence of the body, it comes with a blueprint and knows exactly what a perfect cell is. It gives you all these stem cells. You guys know what a stem cell is?
Yeah, I know sometimes. Yeah.
All right. So
Isn't it?
go ahead.
Yeah. Isn't it the things that like lengthen the telomeres at the end of DNA strands, like lengthens your life?
Close. A stem cell is a cell that's not been differentiated. She's picking berries. It's a non-differentiated cell, which means it's not been given an assignment about what kind of cell to become until the body tells it. So whether
Oh.
your body needs it for a retina cell, a cheek cell,
Liver cell.
liver cell, lower
Doesn't matter.
spine, it becomes that.
Okay.
And it can be applied. Are those raspberries?
Blackberries. The red ones aren't ripe yet.
Oh, okay. You're picking them a bit early. Oh, the black ones are ready. Cool, cool. All right. So the last thing I will add to this, and we just discovered this about a year ago, that your golden water, which is some people call the water Shiva, because that's what Shivambu means. It's a Hindu word. Let me spell it right so you guys know the actual spelling on it. Some people are still spelling it another way. Shivambhu. That's the traditional Hindi spelling of it. And it means either water of Shiva or blood of the Lord. And when we're talking blood here, we're talking plasma blood. Okay. We drink blood, guys. Does that make us like spiritual vampires?
Vampires, yeah.
I'm a plasma drinker. Who doesn't everybody drink their pee by now?
What would that sound? A plasma drinker. I'm a plasma drinker. Come with me.
Well,
You're
I
gonna.
would think that would be very trendy right now because everybody's talking 5D and we're talking about the plasma field. We're talking about that the ocean is a field of plasma and that our body contains plasma and that the fifth state of matter, solid, liquid, gas, ether, plasma. Plasma is coming up in conversations more than ever. So you're in the right place at the right time to use that word.
Plasma drinker.
We're plasma drinkers and we love it. So Shivambu has a consciousness. And when you play with that enough times, you realize it seems to be guiding me. Wherever I'm at, during the town, during the day, I always have it. Araya, I already told Dario this, that these little containers, I'll show you my collection of stuff here in a second. These little containers, one that has a pump top, like that,
Yeah. I got
or,
the syringe kind.
or one that has a spray top.
Oh yeah, I got one of those.
Keep these everywhere, in the car, in the glove box, in your backpack, in your purse, in your medicine cabinet. What I found is that now I've got a 3-year-old in my car. I've got one of these with the spray top. It's a 3-year-old. And
Oh, wow.
if I need some serious mojo, I'll pull that one out and I'll start.
Yeah.
I had this incident once where this gal, I was doing foot massage at an outdoor event. I do a lot of reflexology and foot massage here in Kauai. And I had a client, she came and she parked her bike next to a post. And as she was about to sit down, she put her hand on the post and a nail gets into her hand's all bleeding. I said, you know what? You got to put some urine on that. She says, that is so weird. Someone just mentioned that a couple hours ago. I said, I got some in my car. Hold on, I'll run and get it. So I came back and she gave me her okay to put some of my urine on her hand. It stopped bleeding. She called the next day and says it's healing.
Wow.
Wow.
So
Mm.
the moral of that story is keep it handy wherever you go because it's a go-to first aid.
Wow.
Yeah, I put some aged on my new belly button piercing and it didn't burn or anything. And it's healing really fast. It's doing good.
So thank you. Thank you. Good to hear that. So keep some around because you may save a life. There may be somebody who has an epileptic seizure, passes out, goes into a shock, has a heart attack, and you just happen to be on the scene before the first responders come up there. You can start applying it. You can rub it in their nose, maybe, to get it up into their pineal gland. Just keep it on hand wherever you go.
Wow.
You never know where you're going to use it.
How do you deal with epileptic seizures?
Well, the fastest way, and we're going to talk about this when we get to the protocols, is injections.
Okay.
You can throw away your darn EpiPen because we've learned the dark side of the EpiPen. It converts into adrenochrome, but I'm not going to mention that on the show. So, any questions about the Shivamba wisdoms?
No.
No.
Okay, I'm going to show you the book collection so you can see some of these books, and you may already have them. There are people in this community, I love them. They've got like dozens of urine therapy books. They really went all out for it. And so everybody's book is in their collection, including mine. We'll go back to 1994, and for some reason, from the 1990s until 2017, 2018, people were not writing and publishing urine therapy books. And somebody brought that up in the last class. They said, well, there must have been a renaissance, or they felt that they couldn't bring it out publicly. But now there's more books on the subject, which you'll find out when we get to the stack. So this was one of the first books that I knew about, which was my urine therapy Bible, was the Golden Fountain book. And since then, they put out a new cover, which you've seen. I've already showed these to you. Is this new cover? This is by Cohen van der Kroon out there in Holland. This book, Araya, was my Bible.
Oh, yeah.
And he's changed the cover. It looks like this now.
Yeah, that's the one I have. I've read that twice as well. It's really good because you
Well done.
recommended it.
Well, yeah, thank you for that. This book also came out in 1994, Martin Lara, Urotherapy book.
Yeah.
He's out in the East Coast and he's still
I haven't
teaching.
read that.
Great book. Martin Lara, that's what he looks like. Anyway, so that was 1994. What else came out in 1994, guys?
Perfect medicine.
Martha, yeah, bingo. Martha Chris.
I got one coming to me in the mail today. Today.
Nice.
I haven't got it yet, but I'm looking forward to that book. So
Now, this book has a lot of science and research.
that's what I like about it. About the
So
science.
the people who ask you, do you got any evidence, any peer-reviewed articles or science? You go, it's in the book.
It's in the book. Just read this book and you'll be enlightened.
Also, I highly recommend you guys get to know this website here, shivambhu.org. You can also,
That website.
I'll explain what that is in just a second. Shivambu.org is a nonprofit organization that we organized and established in 2018 in Boulder, Colorado, with Christopher McClure and McLean Jenner and the Guptas, so that we can reach a wider audience and build the infrastructure for the movement. So the Shivambu Hut was the first thing that we put together, which is a urine therapy social media platform unlike anything out there. And that's all it's dedicated to, is people sharing content on the subject. And it's free membership. We're almost up to 1,800 members right now. So you're welcome to get your membership and read everything that I've been posting, and we'll look at everybody's questions and comments. Okay. We put together the Water Family Directory. Have you seen that one yet?
No.
All right.
No.
You're going to go to brothersage.com. You'll click on you'll see the drop-down menu, and one says resources. And at the bottom, it says UT directory. And we have advocates, we have teachers, we have podcast hosts, anybody from anywhere in the world who wants to be available for those who need some support, some love, some guidance on their journey. So it's a well worth it. If you guys ever want to be listed on that UT directory, let me know.
Okay.
It's nice because you can reach somebody in pretty much every country, and that we add people all the time.
It's just a support group type of thing.
The directory is a directory of names with their contact information of teachers around the world.
Oh, okay.
And the teachers can be either beginner, intermediate, or master teachers.
Okay.
And it's usually people who felt like they were called to do this work, and they don't have any resistance to being known and have people reach out to them from anywhere in the world, which takes you out of your hometown really fast.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this book.
Haven't read that one.
You know what that means?
No.
OMAD?
OMAD is 1 meal a day.
Yeah, 1 meal a day.
Oh.
That's what I do. I still 1 meal a day.
All right. I love you. You're doing great.
More or less. I mean, yeah. Some days I had to do 2, but most of the time it's 1.5.
All right. So this is David Phillips. He is not a doctor. He forgot to put a dot after the D and after the R. So that's David Phillips. That's his book, OMAD or in Looping.
Cool.
The guy who helped explode the interest in evolved Orin, our friend Harry Matadine out in England. I believe he just returned from Thailand, where he had a relationship with, at the time, the love of his life, but now it's just him. So that's Harry Matadine. And if you ever get a chance to talk to him, he sounds like you're talking to one of the Beatles. He's got one of those adorable English accents. It's just a great guy to talk to. All right. My books came out in 2018, Healing Water from Within. 2020, The Manual for Urine Therapy Teachers. The Secrets of Youthing. This was a revised version and an edited version from my mentor, Leonard Orr. And this was the book that really inspired me to start urine therapy. Why, do you ask? Thank you for asking. Leonard Orr was a devotee of Babaji. You've heard of Babaji?
Yes, yes, yes.
Om Namah Shivaya. All right, so he was a devotee of Babaji, and he considered Babaji to be the Lord of the universe, aka Shiva. Well, my brain put 2 to 2 together and came up with the idea that Shiva told him to tell me to drink my pee, and it was a God thing. I didn't have to go through any mental gymnastics to try it. And so I brought the book back to life, and it's now available on Amazon. He healed everything, including senility, Alzheimer's, and all kinds of incurables. And then he talks about physical immortality. which I've been writing and talking about as well. And then some of my books are now available in French, Spanish, German, Portuguese, working on Hindi and Mandarin at the moment. And for those who want to be able to speak the language of a pee drinkers, the piscabulary of urinisms. You'll learn pistastic words.
Oh, Piscasketeer. I like it. I love it.
It's in the book. It's a lot of fun. Any questions about books, or are there any you want to mention while we got the line open? Any books I missed?
No, but what would be like the three top books that you would get, or top four books that you would get
For newbies?
for newbies? Even for me, I guess. If I'm a newbie, I guess you could say that. Yeah.
Heating Water from Within, The Golden Fountain, Cohen Vanderkroon, Your Body's Perfect Medicine,
Real nice. Okay.
and possibly Beatrice Barnett, Urine Therapy.
Okay.
You can't go wrong. Each one has a different direction. My books brought in the human equation. I talk more about emotions and about simplicity, and it's not technical like a lot of other books are, because you want to be able to keep it simple for people and to debunk all the myths and all the superstition around urine therapy. For example, there are still people who think they should collect the midstream of the urine, and that's all they'll drink and that's all they'll use. Well, you know where that came from?
Nope.
That came from
No.
5,000 years ago. A teaching called the Shiva Kalpa, or the Damar Tantra. And the Damar Tantra was the story of how, you know who that is?
Parvati. Did
Perfect.
I say it?
And
Yeah.
this guy,
Shiva.
Shiva, one day she decides to out her immortal husband. She says, Shiva, how come you don't age? You always look healthy and you're stronger than an ox. What's your secret? So he turns to Parvati. Look, she's holding her Shiva vessel. Her
He
Shiva.
wouldn't tell her.
He said, drink of yourself and you will know.
Oh.
Right? So he lays out this 9-year program about how to collect it, what herbs to mix it with, what ill ailments are treating for, and at the end of the 9 years, achieve physical immortality. Well, there's a verse in there in which he says, the flow of your water, your Shivambu, is symbolic of a snake, which means, according to their legend, the head and the tail of the snake could harm you. The very next verse, he reveals that it's based on tradition and superstition. But 5,000 years later, people miss that part and they go, I should just collect the midstream and throw away the beginning and the tail. I'm going, every drop is precious. Every drop is your medicine. Don't waste it. Right? And you don't have to be like an Olympic athlete to try to juggle it between your legs to try to catch it just right. So, any questions so far?
Regarding the mid stream, they say that the beginning part of it is like toxic or whatever, and then the end of it it's a bit toxic. So what are they actually saying about that? Like,
What they're saying is they didn't do enough research to find out that every drop is the golden plasma water medicine.
okay.
Right? See, we've had to debunk. I've spent the last 8 years getting people really clear on what everybody's talking about and finding out, well, maybe that's not the whole truth and the whole picture. For example, the people say, oh, well, why would I want to drink my urine? It's a waste product. It's disgusting. I said, you know what? For 9 months, you're in a water world filled with urine and amniotic fluid that not only built your system and you built a fetus and you came out lovely and beautiful, why would it not be sterile outside the body? Now in your life, and people get that. It's amazing. Go ahead.
The common question, it's like the question that they ask vegans, like, where do you get your protein from?
Yeah.
But like the most common question you probably get is, doesn't your kidneys filter it? So does your kidneys filter it, and like, does that make it clean? Or somebody is like, it's your liver. The most basic question. I don't know. What's your answer for it?
Well, first of all, do you know where blood plasma and all the different components of blood originate before it gets into the bloodstream? You may not have studied biology, but it starts in the bone marrow. All right, so you got the white blood cells, you got the red blood cells, you got the blood plasma. Well, when the liver does its house cleaning, it sends plasma to the kidneys. The kidneys have a sophisticated filtration system called the nephron, right? Can you
I knew
imagine?
that.
Can you imagine? There's 1.2 million filters in the kidney in the back of your body, your little teeny kidneys, and it's got to filter it 1.2 million times to come out with this ultra filtered plasma water.
It's amazing.
Right? So whatever is found in the urine, and this is another thing I've had to teach people. People go, I went to the doctor and he discovered something in their urine. You know, he found some toxic material, some whatever it was. I mean, I'm not nothing jump at the top of my head. The problem with that is they do a disservice, because what doctors are doing based on their training is they want to plug it into their system so they can give you an answer and a solution. So all their parameters is identify and isolate, and then plug it into the system, right? So they can identify something that's in there, whatever it is. And they can say, oh, yeah, you got so-and-so in there. You might have a UTI because we found this in there, or there may be a kidney issue, blah, blah, blah. What they're not doing is looking at all 5,662 other components and how do they work synergistically together to benefit or harm the body. You see what I'm saying here?
Yeah. I'm gonna
Okay.
have to play that back and like memorize it. I guess the short answer would be like, that's a myth that, you know, it's a waste product, but
That's not.
yeah. Is there a more simplified, but like, um, you know, like to people that don't know all this stuff?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the simple answer, and Dario already said it, it's ultra filtered plasma water.
Blood plasma, yeah.
It's blood
Okay.
plasma. Even doctors know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that when the first responders show up at the scene of an accident and they're taking the victim, the accident victim on the ambulance back to the hospital, they're slow dripping plasma into their veins. And what we have is ultra filtered plasma, which I wish they in the next paradigm, maybe that's what they'll put in their veins.
Yeah, that'd be good actually. Jeez.
Now, in the upcoming chapters, we're going to look at the future of this movement. And I got the vision of this movement back in 2017 when I put out the Healing Water book. And a lot of things that were in that book are happening right now. So when we get to that chapter, if you haven't already, read that chapter on the future. It's pretty eye-opening. So let me show you some of the things that we're using here. And when we get to the protocols part, by the way, we're coming up to the first hour of class. And what we do is we take a break in about another 30 minutes, so you can take another 10 minutes to do your thing, and then we'll come back.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to show you various things that I have that I use, and you can get them either from Amazon or the Shiva Lifestyle Store. I believe it's still accessible. Let me put that one in there too. A buddy of mine, Shivalifestyle.com. We decided, why do people have to spend a lot of time on Amazon and on the internet to find all their equipment and their accessories? So we created the one-stop shopping store. I told you we're into the infrastructure to help the world out. So that's one of the things we built was the store where you can get a neti pot. You know what this is used for?
I don't know what that. I'm guessing your nose.
Yeah, this is known in the Ayurvedic tradition. And you just, yeah, see that demo right there? You you fill it up, you tip your head to one side, you point it in one nostril, and then it leaks out the other nostril.
Oh.
However, it's not sufficient enough to get up into the blood-brain barrier and get into your pineal gland. This is why snorting and drinking up the nose works miracles. And speaking of Ayurvedic, if you didn't know this by now, you can ask any Ayurvedic practitioner. They may or may not be willing to tell you the truth, but Ayurvedic medicine originated with urine therapy.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Araya, did you know that?
No.
We're in Ayurvedic medicine, but I didn't know that.
Their Ayurvedic practitioners tend to know that, but they don't necessarily bring that out in conversation with their clients. Uh,
Because it's free.
it's it's free, and
It's not.
they don't have enough confidence and certainty to talk about it because they may feel like they'll lose clients.
Yeah, it doesn't seem very socially acceptable.
Not at the moment. Okay, so that's the neti pot. If you want to really get it up to your nose, you're either going to snort it out of your hand.
Yeah, that's what I do.
What?
Yeah, I snorted it.
Oh
You
my
have
gosh.
a question?
No, I just didn't think of that. I was like tilting the glass and trying to snort it that way, but that
There's
might
that.
work.
There's that. And my mentor and inspiration was Samuel G. Cohen out in England, him and Kelly Ross. They would take a glass or a wine glass or a juice bottle and drink it right through the nose without dropping any out of the nose, which I still do. It drops out of my nose. And they discovered that that was a fast track to visions and awakening the sleeping brain.
Yeah, it seems to help my head a lot because I read in one book that they say brain surgeons before they perform the surgery will apply urea to before they cut the skull to shrink the brain. And yeah, I just feel like the headaches I used to have gone away because I feel like it's like not as much pressure going on up there.
Yeah. And that's what I highly recommend when someone has a migraine headache. The two things you want to jump on right away is enemas and nose sniffing
Yeah.
because it's toxicity that's been reabsorbed and goes up into the brain area. Or you're stressed out and you've been around too many EMF devices and your brain's got,
Yeah.
please, no more. All right. So another thing you can use, there's two more things you can use for your to get it up, three more things you can get up the nose. One is this little silicone plastic syringe that holds 60 milliliters. And you can see it has a plunge and a pointed tip. And all you simply do is you fill it up, aim it at a nostril, and let her go. And about 3 seconds, most
Yeah.
going to come up into your. She's got it. Okay,
Yeah, that's what I use.
it works.
It helps so much. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we get that. The product that you just did demonstrated there, Brother Sage.
you want to know where to get it?
Yeah. You
Shiva,
have Amazon?
Shiva
Was that?
Lifestyle.
Oh, she asked. Okay, fine. That's fine.
Now, you may or may not know this, but there is a passageway that connects your throat from behind the eyebrows and down the mouth. Behind there is a passageway where it meets there. So what doesn't go up into the nose comes behind and lands in the throat. So that's where you can swallow it.
Okay.
All these passageways from the ears and the eyes and the nose, they go down the back of the throat. So you can use this. You can use one of these bulbs.
Yeah.
This, by the way, for the first year I got into urine therapy writing and teaching, I saw everything at the store totally different. I'd go into the grocery store, the health food store, the pharmacy store, and I go, well, you say it's used for cleaning out the ears, but I could easily use that for snorting up the nose or implants up the bum. And that's what we use this for.
You use that for the ears?
You can use it for the ears. You
I
can,
haven't tried the ear thing yet.
you know what this is and where to find it?
Um, no.
It's in the children's section of the grocery store. They sell it for ear cleaning.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It holds 2 ounces. It doesn't cost much. And then if you ever want to do a Basti, AKA an implant up the bum, this puts 2 ounces up in your rectum and you don't have to worry about evacuating it out because it'll absorb. So some people do it as an implant.
wow.
I like that look on your face, Araya.
Me, I'm just saying, you put the water bottle up your bum.
Oh, yes, I do. Listen, everybody, put pee on your bum. The other thing, which is great to get, is
Nebulizer. Is that a nebulizer? No.
this is a nebulizer, a certain type of a screen nebulizer. It's a mesh, thank you, mesh nebulizer.
Mesh
So,
nebulizer.
so what it does is you'll have the water up at the top chamber. This holds 1/3 of an ounce. And once you flip it on, it converts it from a liquid to a vapor, right? So you can either inhale it up the nose, you can feather your eyelids, you can exfoliate your skin, or you could just use it to purify the air.
With aged or
Ooh, she's
regular?
asking an intuitive question. You can use fresh or aged.
I sprayed aged in my eyes and I had like, I didn't know. I was like, okay, I ate like a pea and I thought that it was like mucus forming because it's kind of starchy. And I was like, okay, I should cut that out and not eat that again. And the next day, I'm still spraying aged in my eyes. And I was like, it's still burning. I'm like trying to heal it by spraying. I'm like, okay, we're going to eliminate that. And sure enough, that was not the right thing to do. I had to wake up like 10 times in the middle of the night, just like scraping gunk out of my eyes. It was a little much.
Yeah, it's what we call the 3-second sting. First it stings, and then you're
But
you're trying to make it go away. So
yeah,
splash water on it or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, in situations
My
like that.
vision has gotten better though.
Oh, nice. How's your night vision?
Oh, it's great. I don't know what people are talking about when it's like they can't see at night, so that's good. I used to have like a -2. I had to wear glasses to see far away,
Mhm.
and now it's like -1. So the 3 years of just doing fruit and detoxing is coming. I don't have to wear glasses. It's such a weak prescription strength. I don't even have to wear glasses anymore.
Yeah, I wore glasses up to age 23, and then I dropped out of society and joined a raw food community in Austin, Texas. And I not only healed glasses, but in 2 weeks, I healed a low case of hepatitis
Oh, wow.
through fasting and yoga.
Nice. You could heal anything.
You can heal anything. Everything is healable except for what you say you cannot heal. And that's one of the components of this water. The people who say they can't heal anything, they're not willing to make all the changes in their lifestyle. You know, you've got to improve your diet. You've got to get exercise. You've got to clean out your intestines and your liver. You've got to work on your emotional wellness. You have to have spiritual practices and keep those all in balance. It's the holistic health model if you really want to get well. I have people who reach out to me from all over the world and they've given up on the medical profession. Now, if you guys ever step up to be a teacher or a therapist, you get some people who are desperate. People are really hurting inside, and your heart goes out to them. And your job is to help them come into balance and develop a wellness lifestyle that not only heals these conditions, but it'll maintain it if they're disciplined enough to keep it up every day.
So what about if, you know how they say like if it's not broke, don't fix it? Like I have supersonic hearing, like my hearing's really good. If I put the urine in the ear, is it gonna like, I don't know. That's like the last thing I have to say, but I do wanna just like,
You broke up a little bit, but
you
um,
know.
it only strengthens your hearing. It only improves the quality of whatever condition your body is at the moment. Since there are no side effects, after effects, or bad effects from doing urine, you can't hurt yourself in any way. And the only way it's going to not work for you is if you give up and walk away from this practice, which people have done. I don't know why. And then they come back 30 years later or 20 years later and go, I'm so glad I came back to this water and this holy practice.
I guess it is like another canal to the brain. So everyone's pineal gland is like calcified a little bit. So it would help with that, I'm sure.
Um, the reason I teach about saturation dosing, because you're doing two forms of self-care, healthcare every day. You're either working on the purifying, detoxing, and cleansing, or the regenerating and restoration and balance. So even though a lot of us think, well, I'm well, I did urotherapy and I know how to eat right and I eat plant food and I don't do supplements. And a lot of people in this community, by the way, have dropped supplements. Yes. And they found out that food that had vitality and enzymes and minerals and water and electrons, which are plant foods, fruit, vegetables, sprouts, gave them all they needed, including the amino acids, which people are calling protein. And that's my definition. If you've not read it in any of the books, people say, well, what is the best food for humans? Without going on one side or the other, saying meat is good or meat is not good, or whether plants are better, the da 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 da. I've come up with a list of requirements that I considered real food for people. Here's the list. I said it just a minute ago. It must have enzymes, minerals, water content, chlorophyll, electrons, and a strong vitality or life force or Shakti, whatever you want to call it. And where does that lead you? Plants, fruit, sprouts. So look at your diet. I'm not talking about Araya. Look at your diet and see if you can improve it. You're going to get people who say, well, I eat really healthy. And then that's when I love to challenge them. Yeah, but you came to me because you were sick and you say you're eating healthy. What do you consider healthy? So, I get to dig into people's refrigerators and find out if they're honest about what they're really eating, or they're binge eating, or they're cheating at night and eating chips and ice cream and they're saying they're eating healthy. So you got to be honest with yourself if you want your health back. What else did I not show you? Da, 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 da. Eye cup you've seen. Tongue scrapers.
Mm.
You get the white film or the colored film on your tongue. These are nice. Dip it in the orange, scrape it over your tongue.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Wow. So many uses. My God.
Every one of these things. If you've done the eye cup, the bump up, and I love the bump up, is swimmer's goggles.
Yeah.
Because you can do both eyes at once and keep your eyes open and have goggles full of holy water and nobody knows. You guys have swimmer goggles?
Yeah. I got a pair a couple weeks ago because of you.
Oh, sweet.
I watched the video of you.
I have fun making videos. Two things you want to have around all the time is
Cotton balls.
Cotton ball, organic cotton balls. You're going to either put them on a blemish, a cut, a scratch,
In the navel.
the belly button. Yeah. If you
Mm.
have to, you can snort it if that's all you got to snort from. And
Oh,
then,
you're for real.
yeah, if you have to, you'll always find a way to get it back in your body. The other thing which I keep on hand is the Q-tips. Because for some people won't snort, but just having the essence of it in their nose
Yeah,
starts to introduce it into their nose or belly button or ears, cleaning out wax and stuff in the ears.
cool.
What else I got to show you? You guys have pH strips?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Try to find the ones that are up to 14. Because most stores and online, people only have it up to 8 pH.
Market is closed.
The market's closed.
Start hits.
Okay, so let's test mine. Let's test mine. I'm going to practice what I preach so you won't go, this guy's got a pH of 6. No, let's find out if he's the real deal. So this is now an hour and a half old. Can you tell it's evolving?
I know, but I'm sure it is.
We're going to test it right now.
So it's good just to dip it in there, and then you're gonna drink the water or drink the urine.
Yeah, it's sterile.
Oh wow! I didn't.
If it wasn't, now it is.
It is now. So what would you say that registered as?
6.6.
That is between a 7 and 8. That's what you want, at least a 7. You can't tell. Can you tell? Anyway, it's on the green spectrum.
Yeah, it looks like it.
You can also test your spit with these things, if that's another thing you're into. Okay, what else did I show you? Dario picked up one of these because I learned this from one of my students. I'm always learning new stuff, so don't think I'm a know-it-all. I'm humbled. These students are like beyond me. It's like the 5-year-olds, that generation. They come in totally awake and they can read people like that. So you can't bullshit a kid. Yeah, show us. You see what this is, Araya?
Oh no.
It's
Well,
a,
yeah, like the roller
yeah, like people are used to seeing these in essential oils.
for like musk and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so buy one that's clean. You don't have to clean out any essential oils. You can put it on your bald spot and you could rub it on your face, your eyes, your nose, wherever you want. Belly button.
Oh, that's nice.
I keep this in my
You could
hip
probably
pack.
mix it.
You can mix it. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So they either come in cobalt or copper or clear. Now Dario got the one with the metal roller top. Mine's plastic because that's all they had at the local health food store. Can you bring it a little closer? All right, you see that his is metal. Okay. All right, what else? That you gotta have. You gotta have. And what do we do with this, guys?
I don't know. Wash your hands. It's a foot bath.
Foot
Yeah.
soaks, foot baths. This is a Tupperware brand. You can get a Rubbermaid. Some people will use a Pyrex baking dish. I hosted an event, a Shiva Wellness retreat in Oceanside, California, and some people were using baking dishes because that's all they had. And you'll learn that when we get to the protocols. You can either use feet or hands in this guy. Okay?
I haven't used that at all.
Enema kit. You're either going to get one that's soft and silicone or the ones with the cans, the metal.
I saw one at Goodwill the other day.
If people are going to buy one that's used, well,
They have one there for sale. I was like, no.
yeah, it's like recycling somebody's panties. I don't know how to do. No, thank you. I'm not interested. All right. This is a lot. This is really great to have in your bathroom. I keep this on the ledge of the bathtub. Okay. So when you're taking a shower or you're taking a bath, you can spray front and back, or you can unscrew the spray top, pour some in your hands, and you can knock out 5 or 6 protocols really fast. So these are nice to have in the bathroom area. You guys have one?
Nope.
Oh yeah, got glass ones. Here we go. I used a Crown Royal bottle. It's fancy.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably got some pressure, good power at the top.
Yeah.
Okay, here's some things that are optional. I found these on Temu.
I see. I didn't buy it.
Mobile foot soaks with reflexology points on the bottom.
How do you find them? Do you find them like?
I found them in Temu.
How do you find them? Like do you find it like? Was it a good product? Like, how did your feet go in? Like, yeah, like.
I have a way of manifesting things by asking people who make things if they'll send me a sample, and I'll send them customers their way. And so they sent me these, and they didn't tell me I should give them my foot size. So this is too small for me.
Okay.
This is more of a 10 and I'm an 11. But for demo purposes, you get the idea.
Okay. Gotcha. Cool.
You make a mess walking around in those. You had to mop afterwards.
Well, one of our students, Ken Newbill, Dr. Ken, have you heard of him yet out there in North Carolina? What he did was he soaked his feet in a washcloth full of urine. He put a washcloth full of the urine, he put it all over his foot. And then he tied plastic bags all over his feet. And he spent 2 hours in a foot soak with that. That's what he used.
That
Or,
works.
or, I said earlier how I see things differently than most people, is a shower cap. You can tell I'm
I love the color.
serious. Yes. You can not only use it for head injuries, brain dysfunction, brain disorders, hair, et cetera, but you can also put it over your hands for a hand soak or over your feet like surgical booties. Got it? And last but not least, I think this is the last item I have here. I go to garage sales all the time. And if you see something that you can use for urine therapy, pick it up. Jacuzzi Shivambu, a foot soak.
Nice.
You put your foot in there, fill it up, turn on the bubbles. $3 at a garage sale. She says, I don't care, get it out of here. So I brought it home and I filled it up and started using it. Okay, any questions about these protocols? About some of the items?
No, that's no questions.
I covered a lot of it, didn't it? All right, let's go into the notes here. Take turn, intuition. Let's go to what part does faith play in urine therapy? Page 11 in the old book, page 14 on the new book. Now, there are certain components that make this work better than not work. And one of the components is faith, trusting your water, trusting the process, not giving up too soon, doing what you can to make the lifestyle changes, get yourself support. You guys have support if you need to reach out to a friend?
Yeah.
No.
All right.
You're my support.
Okay, I'm on the list of his team now.
There you go.
I recommend
You got me now too.
Exactly. Thank you, Aria.
Yeah.
what I'd recommend you guys do is plug into any of the social media platforms. Facebook has 25 urine therapy groups. Telegram has 6.
Right.
WhatsApp has not only have 4 or 5, but there's an incredible group out of India that they have urine therapy conferences in India. They've got teachers who's been at it 50, 60 years. You get to see what's going on in other countries and you get to make some friends for life. That's what I've really enjoyed about social media because it's a safe and comfortable place you can talk about the subject that you may not want to share with friends and family.
They get all judgy
Yeah.
and they make the face like, what are you doing?
Yes.
But I accept it.
Are you crazy? Are you in a cult?
Quit pouring urine on yourself. Like I'm a wild monkey.
I'm one of 500 million people on the planet. That makes me one of the sane people.
That's right.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm on Kauai. And what's really amazed me when I got here, I not only discovered 5 people here that knew who I was before I got here, and they had my books, but over the last 3 years that I've been here, I've come across 25 people who drink their pee in Hawaii, on this island.
Nice.
So it's not so awkward to do what I do here, to be a teacher. Okay, so faith is on page 11. I'm just going to read a little bit of it before we go to our first break here. Oren has been considered by one of the saints in India to be the boon of nature and a blessing by God for humanity. He describes human Oren as a divine and powerful medicine. God shows us the sure cure of all diseases. A truly wise person considers Oren as the best of all cures. Its prowess is indestructible. Even the researchers are also slowly but unreservedly approving the sterling qualities of UT. All those opinions and verdicts are good eye openers. Has it occurred to you that Shivambu is your water of personal aliveness, well being, and possible road to physical immortality? What makes it work and work so well is what's called faith or trust. Faith will help you clear obstructions, inflammation, toxins, pathogens. Faith reminds you that you will never have to buy or use supplements or medications because it's all in the water. You guys doing supplements still?
I am, but slowly going off of it slowly.
Well, the supplement industry was a spinoff from World War II. So the military brought it to the world and they invented Shackley and Nature Made and Big Pharma took over and they pumped it through and they created health food stores and health food industry around vitamins, which are mostly synthetic or isolates.
Yeah, the isolated compounds. No, no thanks.
You'll even find the so-called plant-based ones have to go through heating and alteration in order to give it a shelf life.
Wow.
So faith is the one thing that clears the mind and helps you to get the most out of your water. And that's why I put it in all my books, because the people who truly believe in this water have such confidence and such certainty about the water. That's half the battle to be able to heal yourself, is to empower your water to do its job correctly. And there are times when you will feel tested. There are times when you're saying, I don't get it. It's not working. What am I doing wrong? And that's the time to step it up and keep going. Now, I've been at this 30 years. I do enemas all the time. I still see parasites. I still, every now and then something at a much deeper level inside the small intestines or in the lymphatic system comes out of me and I'm still surprised. I still get mucus coming out of my nose and I don't eat any dairy products. So there's levels and levels of cleaning. And this is based on how did you guys eat all your life until you started changing your diet?
Oh, question. When did you change your diet? When did you go raw?
Hold on. I need an elixir. Right out of college. I was 23. I was in Austin, Texas. My buddy and I were maintaining a motel for Willie Nelson out in Austin. And he ends up joining the Air Force without telling me. I come home, all his stuff is packed up, he's gone. And an old girlfriend says, join this community. It's called Green Life. It was a raw food community. So I went cold turkey on the American diet and did a lot of wheatgrass shots and a lot of carrot juice and a lot of fasting and a lot of sprouting. I went from 235 pounds to like 165 pounds. Yeah, I weighed a lot. In college, I was 3 meat meals a day, and there was junk food, there was drugs, there was sex, there was all kinds of stuff that didn't really make me any healthier until I discovered that's the way my way of eating and living was making me sick and killing me.
You got started young. That's really good.
Yeah. Our mentors and teachers were Dr. Ann Wigmore and Viktoras Kovinskas, Norman
Wow.
Walker, Bernard Jensen. These are our influences. Now, the challenge with doing all raw foods back in 1977, 1980 is that there was no internet. There was no support structure. So when the raw food community broke apart and they disbanded, everybody went out into the world their own way. Well, there's nobody that you can get support to keep eating that way. So there are times where I would get off and I would eat all kinds of silly stuff. I was married 22 years, and sometimes I would eat what my wife ate until I realized I know how to eat. I know how to stay healthy. So why do I want to move away from raw foods? So once I got that back and I anchored it in and dialed it in, it's been nonstop ever since.
The book Survival in the 21st Century, that's a really good one. Did they have that around when you were like 23? I don't know when that came out.
Yeah, I still have a copy. They just celebrated their 50th anniversary of the book.
Oh, wow, nice. At least you had that, that helps.
And Viktoras Kovinskas, who endorsed my new book, The Inescapable book, he's still doing yoga. He's out in his retreat center in Costa Rica.
Wow.
And yeah, he's like 87. He's 87. He's still do reverse yoga on those tree swings. And
Oh, the orangutan. Well, I don't know if they do practice urine therapy, but yeah,
they
the
do.
orangutan. They do. Oh, cool.
Yeah. And when we get to the chapter about other species, there are YouTubes going around with orangutans peeing in their mouth, and, and giraffes, and monkeys, and elks, and even dolphin,
Goats. Yeah.
goats. Anybody who's any animal that is coordinated enough to aim and catch it, kudos.
I'm still trying to figure it out as a female because, like, I can't cup my hands. It doesn't work that way. I
Doesn't
don't
work.
know. I gotta find a giant leaf or something in the woods.
Yeah. You'll figure out some handstand, yoga handstand, and you can just do your own golden shower.
Yeah, exactly. That'll work.
All right. Saturation dosing, page 32, the mind-body connection. What time is it now?
30.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to turn off the recording. So what you want to do is assist your body in doing its job well. So if you look at that complementary modalities email, you'll have those available to you.
Okay.
And our gal out there is multitasking.
Yes, in the zone.
See, we thought you were peeing. We didn't know.
Just
Well,
can
it's
you
not.
hear it? I can mute.
No, that's okay. Do what you do.
Okay.
All right, guys. You ready to come back to class?
Yeah.
That'd be yes. Okay. Let's start off with what's in this water?
Hmm.
Now, I sent you the list. I know I sent it to Dario. The the list that comes from the university out there in British Columbia that has all 5,662 identified ingredients in the human urine, so you can see this impressive list. And not everything has been discovered in our water yet. So this chapter right here takes a lot of these powerhouse nutrients. And what I did was I took a cross section of the most widely purchased or discussed nutrients that people will go to health food store for. This came out of the book, The Golden Fountain by Cohen Vanderkroon. And in here is confirmation that these nutrients are already in your urine and that you won't need a supplement to have them working for you. Now, for example, people will say, well, I'm stressed out, can't seem to sleep, my nerves are frailed, and they go to the store and they buy melatonin, they buy serotonin, they buy growth hormone, magnesium helps people relax their muscles, their bowels, their heart, et cetera, et cetera. They buy all these nutrients, B vitamins, you name it. It's in the water. So this explains why you hear more and more people telling you they feel calmer. They're able to handle the things that used to trigger them a lot better because of their water. All right? So what I want to do is read this list really quick so you can hear a cross section of these. And some of these will jump out at you and you go, yeah, well, I used to buy all that stuff. Now I don't have to. So I'm going to read this kind of quick just so you could hear some of them. And some of them will bring back a memory. Here we go. Adrenaline, alanine, albumin, allotonin, which is in comfrey and aloe vera. You've heard of that before. Antibodies, amino acids. Amino acids is the building block of what people are obsessing about, which is protein. Arginine, ascorbic acid, bicarbonate, biotin, calcium. By the way, people are doing a lot of baking soda these days because they found that it neutralizes the stomach acid and brings their body to alkalinity a lot faster. So if you get into baking soda, all you need is a teaspoon of it. Mix it in your water and drink that once or twice a day. Some people say
And
that,
brush your teeth.
or brush your teeth. Some people say it helps get rid of parasites. So
The Bob's Red Mill is like the most natural one I found.
right, that's what I use, and you can find it everywhere. So you know it hasn't been altered or fried or whatever they do to turn it into the powder.
Yeah.
So here's some more on the list. Biotin, calcium, carbohydrates, choline, chlorine, choline, cortisol, creatinine, cysteine, DHEA, dopamine, enzymes, epinephrine,
Epinephrine.
thank you, estrogen, folic acid, glucose, glutamic acid, glycine, hormones, inositol, inulin, iodine, for you guys who are still doing iodine for your thyroid,
No.
iron, leucine, lysine, magnesium, manganese, melatonin, methionine, nitrogen, ornithine, oxytocin, pantothenic acid, phenylalanine, phosphorus, potassium, progesterone, proteins, riboflavin, selenium, serotonin, stem cells, sulfur, testosterone, thiamine, tryptophan, tyrosine, urea, vasopressin, vitamins A, B6, 12, C, D, E, K, and zinc.
That it? Really?
A small percentage of 5,600 nutrients.
Wow, I know. Wow.
So anything that I've sent you on the email, keep these links, keep these charts, keep whatever it is that can also be used as a teaching device for new people.
Right.
Someone says, well, what's in it that's beneficial? Well, would 5,662 identified ingredients be beneficial?
Yeah.
One of the questions that comes up for people is, do we have any research behind this? Do you have any evidence to prove to me that what you're saying is valid and that I'm not really being conned and it's really a waste product and you're messing with me? We have the research thanks to Martha Christie. We have a lot of links. I mean, you can, if you go digging into Google, you'll find all these government-related sites that talk about ultrafiltered plasma water, stem cells as a treatment modality for humans. Right now, there is a urine therapy research group that I've been honored to be a part of. That includes people like Dr. Group, Jonathan Otto, Megan McDonald, British Columbia, and some other people that are using microscopes, science, etc., to confirm and finish this study to validate their stem cells and aged urine, and is very beneficial for human use. So once this has been completed, we're going to send it out to the world and it'll go viral. So yes, people will want reassurance. This is the only reason they're asking for validation. Do you have science? Do you have evidence? Well, 500 million people are alive and healthy. Does that give you any kind of evidence, or do you need more proof? So we
need
have
more proof.
well, you give them everything you can,
Yeah.
and if it doesn't land right, you did your job.
Yeah. And with a smile.
And with a smile. Thank you. So when you get a chance, read chapter 5. Let me read a little bit of chapter 5 so we can get some of the book material read in class today. All human beings drink their own urine while growing a body in the womb of their mother. In the natural biological heaven of the human reproduction process, inside the maternal womb is where the formation of our body took place. The first step was the formation, excuse me, of mother cells, heart, brain, kidneys, bones, basic organs, nerve cells that receive, transmit, and above all, coordinate between sensorial organs and the incredible balance of genetic information, cell reproduction, and bioenergetic stimulation. Inside the maternal womb, we are in complete peace, comfort, and harmony, preparing ourselves to come out to a new life in the external world. Basically, we're fish, right? We're breathing, we're peeing, we're drinking in water.
Yeah.
Right? So water gets in your lungs, water gets in your system, water bathes and massages your body, and we all come out as beautiful, precious babies. And we're fine until doctors take us away from our parents. But that is the pivotal moment where the divine reveals the beauty of you and of your babies. A human's perfect time on earth may be during the gestation period. Urotherapy is literally a gift of God or Shiva built in part of our nature. There's no human on earth that has not taken in his or own urine. In our first 24 to 30 days, we'll start peeing in the amniotic liquid. Through the umbilical cord, the body receives special nutrients such as immunoglobulin. Did I mess that one up?
Immunoglobulin. Yeah. No, you said it.
How do you pronounce it? Immunoglobulin.
Well, now I can't say it after all. Quinoa. Kiwanu.
All right, so that and vitamins, and most of all, we get oxygen from our mom. When the baby reaches the age of 5 months, they urinate 400 to 500 milliliters. Each day in the sac, between 8 to 9 months, the baby urinates 20 to 30 times every 24 hours. That's a lot of peeing, that's a lot of drinking. 98% of the composition of urine is water. 1% is elements consisting of cells and filaments, and the other 1% is made up of more than 5,662. I've got to update the number because they just found another one. 5,600. Question?
No, I was just counting for you.
Oh, it's amazing. Powerful substances are found in milligrams that carry the genetic information and energy of what works well or not in the body. A fetus swallowing its own urine is not only sterile and safe, it is in laboratory condition, laboratory environment. It's that sterile. A decrease in fetal orin production or excretion can result in a reduced amount of amniotic fluid. The orin that a baby produces in utero doesn't pose any risks, even when the fetus consumes its piss. It's not only normal, but also healthy for a baby's body to run organ system functions, as well as develop swallowing, breathing, and other actions needed for thrival. Your body creates an ideal environment that protects the baby as it develops. Temperature control, nutrients, stem cells, antibody protection, and more are just a few of the automatic benefits a baby gets in the womb. The germ situation doesn't really exist, since we know that they debunked the germ theory 6 years ago. You knew that, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Tom Cowan. So, any questions about evidence, science?
What was the debunking the germ theory? I haven't heard about that.
Well, he basically said, I don't want to put too much into this talk today. Basically, he said that they've never identified or isolated a germ,
No.
and they couldn't prove it exists under scientific conditions or any other conditions.
Hmm.
There is no
So-
virus.
So that's got to change your whole mindset, particularly since we were raised, and this is one of the things that messed us up around pee drinking and urine therapy, as well as your sexuality, and that was potty training.
Mm.
Make sure you clean up after you've gone pee and you wipe the lid or you clean yourself. They were really hygienic phobia, germ phobia came to us when we were early toilet training. And some people that translated in their sexuality got a little bit perverted because they had negative thoughts about their genitals because of toilet training. So you can see we got some unraveling to do to be able to appreciate our body more and to make the leap into gold water as a natural byproduct of our body to heal us.
Have you seen it like over the years, like evolve more? Or it might have just come more to your attention as you become conscious of it, but do you think it's like growing as towards more being, I don't know if it will ever be socially acceptable. Let's not say that. It will. It will be one day.
Nice catch.
But have you seen it like growing more? I'm sure you're making a huge difference, obviously.
Thank you. Are you talking about being more accepted by the world, by more people?
Yeah.
Most definitely. I'm on social media quite a bit, and I get to pick up the chatter, see the insights that people have, the discoveries they have. We get more and more testimonies of people who healed every possible condition, from Alzheimer's to diabetes to cancer to COVID. All these people are coming out forward. You get the lawnmower guys here today.
I see him out the window, yeah.
Well, I'm going to close the window, see if this helps.
Oh, I don't hear anything.
I'm going to close the windows. It might be a little stuffy in here, but at least it'll take down some of the noise.
You see that?
Oh,
I don't
there is no lawnmower noise when the window is open though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, the movement is exploding. Thanks to more and more voices and advocates that are high-end naturopaths, patriots, freedom fighters. Scott McKay has talked about it. Dr. Group's talking about it. Jonathan Otto, Troy Case,
Madonna.
Madonna, boxers, actors. There's a scene in the Fight Club with Brad Pitt. I don't know if you've seen it, but if you go,
Yeah.
he says, urine, it's sterile. You can drink it. And so there's incredible support by celebrities and high-end influencers that are gaining in acceptance on our planet, because this movement is unstoppable. Since a lot of people discovered that the medical industry was not our friend, they've been looking for alternatives. And so for you guys to step up and to be a voice or to be a teacher would be awesome, because people will seek you out. This is the answer that a lot of people have been looking for, and it's in their own hands, no pun intended. And they're able to heal themselves with themselves. What a perfect time to have this on the planet when a lot of people are wanting to be sovereign and be well taken care of.
Right.
Yeah, not everyone could get behind the whole like being 100% vegan or further steps into raw vegan, but they can get behind, you know, the urine therapy, and that's like a really good first step.
Yes. And what we've noticed, Araya, is that because of the nutrients in our water, I hear more testimonials of people who have broken free of drugs and addictions. So at some point, the brain chemistry resets and our critical thinking faculty comes back. And intuitively, everybody seems to know intuitively that plants are food for humans. But we've been so programmed and conditioned by commerce and what do you call it? Consumerism, that people bought everything back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s because it was convenient and it was easy to do. When they introduced TV dinners in the 60s, mom was feeding us TV dinners. We didn't know any different. When microwaves came about, everyone was microwaving. We didn't know any different. But more and more people, I would say intuitively, they're starting to remember, oh yeah, I do really good when I eat fruit all day, or I do really good if I have a salad. So I think there's going to be a shift that's going to take place in people without the influence of others.
Yeah. I noticed with me, when I was drinking water still, it was like flushing, like I would distill my own water for years, and I just feel like it was flushing the nutrients out of my system.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I have as a distiller at the house.
nice.
Now, you heard of Andrew Norton Weber?
From you, but I haven't like looked into him.
Okay, let's type in his website and then you can go and check it out. See if I can remember it. Aquarius Water Bearer. Is that right? Bearer. Aquarius Water Bearer. It's either .org or .com, so you'll have to look it up. And Andrew Norton Weber was a very strong voice for urine therapy and for distilled water. Now, what he was teaching us is that in order to have the right kind of water that is in alignment or recognized by the human body for it to be the most beneficial, it has to be structured and distilled. Do you know how to determine what is a structured water?
Yeah, like the movement in the river, just shake it around, put it out in the moonlight, it'll structure it.
Well, that'll structure it, but how do you know it's structured?
Oh, like looking at it or tasting it? It's just
Mic-
use your intuition.
Microscope. Microscope.
Oh, okay.
There's a woman. Let me put her name in here. She has a Instagram account called Messages in Urine. And that's how to reach her right there. Her name is Fiona Gardner. She's a former student of mine, and she has taken highly magnified pictures of urine and have shown us the crystalline structures, have shown us the signs in these different images, and some are sacred geometry, Merkaba, and this and the other thing. Well, according to Andrew Weber, the things that the water that everybody's drinking doesn't work for the human body unless it's structured, and that puts you in the category of distilled water. And he went further to give us a listing of the 4 types of distilled water: urine, rainwater, glacial water, distilled water, fruit juice. Right? So all the people who are buying these expensive alkaline water machines, which don't hold a charge, are they're getting reverse osmosis or charcoal filter or whatever it is, if it's not structured, it doesn't match the human structure.
Yeah, that's why we like pray and say like good words before eating the fruit or any food that has water in it. So
Yeah.
you're reorganizing it. They even like wrote different words on it and like put it in the freezer on a petri dish.
Yeah. That was the works of Dr. Erasmus, I believe that's his name, Messages in Water. And he had people put words like love, faith, harmony, and measured it, and then he put on messages like hate, war, fear, and the water broke up, and it was disharmonious water. It changed the whole frequency of the water. And
Yeah.
I've been asking the urine therapy community for the last 8 years to put words along their jar and see if you notice anything different about it. So if you feel like doing that, make a video. We can see
I
what
gotta
we,
get an engraved mason jar now.
there you go. Any questions so far what we've been discussing?
Nope.
Okay. Let's go to the history of our water.
That'd be cool.
We're going to go back in time. All right, get in your DeLorean. We're going back to the future. Now, some people say that the oldest known history of urine therapy was the Damar Tantra with Shiva and Parvati, which was 5,000 years ago. However, you guys know there's two forms of history.
Oh, yeah, of course.
There's recorded history, and then there's word of mouth history,
It's his
passed on
story.
by storytellers and families. So it's a lot older than 5,000 years old, but that's the only recorded version of it. To me, do you guys know the story about the 100th monkey?
Yeah.
Some monkey is washing a sweet potato on an island, and then another island, they discovered monkeys were also washing their sweet potatoes, and it started spreading all over the place. Well, how is it that urine therapy is all over the place, and we've come up with at least 50 nations that practice urine therapy? How did it spread? Something to think.
Alien technology.
Alien technology, interdimensional beings. Yeah.
Yes, got it.
In either case, it's in 50 nations. We've identified over 500 million people, and that number keeps growing all the time. They just knew. Like my friend in Nigeria who was sick when he was 10, and his mom knew the wives' tales or the ancient ways to use her urine to treat her 10-year-old son, which resulted in him getting well and healed. And so we intuitively know that this water has merit. You remember stories about mothers who would massage their baby with a soiled diaper?
Yeah.
There's some moms, they know what it is and they see it as a good thing and not a disgusting thing. And after the baby soaks the diaper, they would massage it on their bodies.
It's just like that and the jellyfish sting. It's like two things people are like, okay, I could accept this, but
Yeah, I ask people, I live in Hawaii. And so I ask people all the time, you know about the cure for jellyfish sting? Oh yeah, yeah, you pee on it. I said, well, why is it just useful for that? What about
yeah, everything else.
everything else? I lived in Colorado 3 years ago before I moved to Hawaii, and my buddy and I, some friends and I, we were part of a hot spring community called Valley View, and it was clothing optional, and so we get full sun, and they would slap on their SP Formula 35 or 50, whatever it is, all their sunscreen garbage. And then 2 or 3 hours later, they're moaning and whining, oh, it still hurts, and da da da. And I'm smiling and I got a deep, rich tan. I said, well, if you just slapped some urine on your body, you'd have been just fine.
I wish I had known that. But just being like raw, what would take like a week to heal, like a sunburn, it just healed overnight. It was crazy.
Super fast, super fast. Now, Dario, how old are you?
57.
57. Do you ever have what's called a capillary burst on your arms?
No.
Capillary burst looks like this.
Okay. No, I
All right.
haven't.
All right, looks like that. And what happens is if you have thin skin or if you hit a certain age and you bump up to something and it scrapes across it, it can turn into a maroon purple color, and they call it a capillary burst. The moment that happens, I put urine on it, and every time, never fails, in 4 days it's gone.
Wow.
I used to use frankincense oil, but urine is better.
Because it's free.
It's free and it works.
I know. That's the whole point of it, right? It's like,
And for you to be able to witness it on your own body healing itself is a living testament that you can share with other people. And so, well, how does it work? And has it worked for you? And you go, well, I have these capillary bursts and it's gone in 4 days. I put on my urine and bada bim, bada boom. It gets lighter every day. This is day 2. It was a lot darker 2 days ago.
wow.
Within 4 days, it's gone, and there's no telltale sign that it was ever there.
Wow.
All right, so let's go back in history here. Now, Andrew Norton Weber, by the way, he told us that the word urine, which sounds like a disgusting waste product, came from 1917, which was a major turning point in human history. You know about 1917?
World War One.
Ever heard of the Rockefellers?
Of course, of course, of course.
All right, they decided to establish ownership or control of the healthcare industry worldwide. In so doing, they wanted to get rid of the competition so they could have a monopoly and big pharma could come around. Well, so they started demonizing all the alternative modalities, including urine therapy. And so, according to Andrew Norton Weber, he says that's a disgusting word just to hear the word. So he calls it orin, O-R-I-N, and you'll hear me use that word from time to time. He says it's softer, it's more inviting, it's more sensual. Orin. Well, if you look up Aquaman in Wikipedia, you may want to do this just for fun. Look up Aquaman in Wikipedia. And as you read down paragraph after paragraph after paragraph, you'll discover that Aquaman's real name is Orin. He was the god of the sea, like Neptune. And few people know that Aquaman's real name is Orin.
Poseidon.
Poseidon, yes. You know what Poseidon carries in his hand?
Trident.
A trident. You know who else carries a trident in his hand?
The Little Mermaid's father.
Who else?
The little Ariel's father. The Little
Shiva.
Mermaid. Oh, really?
Shiva. Look
Huh.
at some of the Hindu pictures of Shiva. He's holding a trident.
Okay.
So let's go back to the list here. So there are many, many names for orin, for urine. Some people call it Shivambu. Some people call it, in Botswana, they call it U juice. You know what they're referring to? They call
Oh,
it,
your juice.
it's your juice, U juice.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Nigeria, they call it Ito. In Spanish-speaking countries, they call it as Orina, O-R-I-N-A.
That sounds like a nice name. Arena.
Yeah.
I would totally
Arena.
name my daughter that.
That's my urine alias.
Okay, I want to see it on your resume one day. In India, they call it, they named it after Dr. Lodha, Dr. Rajshak Dr. Rajshak Mal Lodha. Him and his wife have been practicing urine therapy for 55 years. And he's helped a whole lot of people. He had a clinic in India for a while, and he calls it Lodha Cola
Cool.
after himself. In Hawaii, it's spelled, let me put this in there. You'll love this one. They keep it so simple here in Hawaii. That's a Hawaiian word for urine. Mimi.
Mimi. Mimi.
Mimi. He sounds good.
Maybe.
And I call it OJ, short for orange juice. All right, let's go back to some historical references. In the 1400s, the Aztecs used urine to heal wounds. This is in the 1400s. In the 1500s, there was a sea captain by the name of Magellan from Spain. Does that name sound familiar?
Magellan, yeah.
Magellan. He circumvented the globe and took his crew with him across the ocean and told them not to drink seawater, but to drink their urine.
Mm.
And all this is from doing deep dives on the internet. This is where I get this information. In 1536, the Egyptian medical texts had 50 formulas and remedies, and many of them included orin from the Egyptians. Now, a lot of the cultures, like in Rome, they use it in agriculture industry. They use it in clothing and textile industry. At one point, Caesar, what a great guy, he taxed people on their urine, right? And have them pee in public stalls, collect the urine, resell it to the textile industry, and tax people for peeing. I'm going, what a sweet guy. What amazing. In 1611, ever heard of the King James Version of the Bible?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, there are like 50 to 60 passages that pretty much reveal that Jesus and some of the writers of the Bible were talking about urine therapy. If I didn't send you the list, ask me and I'll send you the list. For example, Proverbs 5:15, drink from your own cistern and from you will pour living waters. Now, what else could that be?
I don't know.
So I did the deep dive and I found 50 or more Bible passages. He that believeth in me shall have a living water that springs out of him. When Jesus is saying, drink of me, drink, I am your blood, he's referring to your plasma water.
Yeah.
Well, you can point these out to Christians and some will get it and some won't.
Yeah. Well, most of them won't, I think. But anyways.
Unless they're in this practice.
Of course, yeah. In this practice, yes, but otherwise they won't.
Oh, they'll tell you that their church buddies over their head. They totally don't get it. Okay, so that's what happened in 1611. In 1695, there was a book called the Salmon English Physician Book, and there was lots of references to UT in 1695. In 1806, Lewis and Clark, remember those guys? They crossed the United States looking for resources, heading toward the East Coast, and they discovered Native American families were bathing each other and their children in their urine. That was in 1806. In 1890, there was a book called A Thousand Notable Things that said urine is a universal and excellent remedy. 1920 and 1944, Water of Life book is published by John W. Armstrong.
That was the first book that I got.
And also in the 1920s was the teachings of Professor Arnold Ehret, who was teaching us about the water cure and the grape cure and fasting and the mucusless diet. I mean, a lot of things came out of the 20s. Edgar Cayce was giving channeling in the 1920s. St. Germain teachings came out in the 1930s. A lot of things happened in the 20s or 30s that were pivotal to our human history. And some things stuck and some things are just now resurfacing, like urine therapy. 1963 was a book out of India called The Manav Mudra. In 1971, NASA, of all places, put out a document that showed there were 3,000 identified nutrients in human urine. NASA, go figure, right? And nothing really took place in the book writing world up until 1994, when Martha Christie and Martin Laura and Beatrice Barnett, they started putting out their books. And then it kind of got quiet And then in 2017, I discovered there was a social media movement about urine therapy, and I get its manuscript download called Healing Water from Within. And I was a wellness practitioner in Boulder, Colorado, doing foot massage, nutritional counseling, all this. And then I ended up channeling this book called The Healing Water from Within. In 2 weeks, I'm at the convention in Las Vegas, meeting with ADP drinkers. What an exciting place, an exciting event. Well, they gave me a book signing table and gave me a chance to talk on the podium. Within 2 weeks, my whole career did a 360. I'm on radio shows, television shows, podcasts, all kinds of things took place. And I discovered that the movement was exploding. Social media was taking it and running with it. That was 2018, 2019, 2020. And you can see now if you're plugged in to the social media platforms, you can get any kind of information, content, or research on the subject.
Yeah, that's where I first saw you. I was YouTubing, like, what is this? Because I knew it was the right thing to do, but I couldn't get my mind over it. So it's like, I just need to learn more information about it and I'll be able to do it. And so I'm like YouTubing different videos. Then I saw your like a clip from you in like Boulder, Colorado, and they said you're fruitarian and you're doing it. I'm like, okay, I need to find this guy. So I researched you and just been binge watching.
Uh, we were holding meetings. Now, I've been working on teaching people to take this off the internet because the people who need it are sometimes they're the seniors and the elders who don't even own a computer. They don't have a cell phone. They're intimidated by technology. So what we were doing was we were having meetup groups at the downtown public library in Boulder, Colorado. And it just so happens that the room that we were reserving was called the El Dorado room. Do you know what that word means in English? Gold.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking about golden water. We had the gold room. At one point, Channel 9 and Channel 7 from Denver caught on to what we were doing and came and did a show with me and one of my board of directors at my house. And so we're bringing out the urine, we're bringing out all the protocols. I was drinking on camera, I was teaching all these things. I was kidding with the camera person, the journalist. You want to try some? I mean, this is really good for you. And she says, no, that's your thing. I'm not interested.
I'll pass. Yeah.
Well, anyway, it was a great story. At the very end, the last 30 seconds, they bring out the doctor to tell us we're wrong and to demonize us, right? But what they didn't realize that now 8 years later, there's like 100,000 views. And it's been one of the best things for the movement.
I seen it on Naked and Afraid too before I knew about it. This one guy asked his partner if he was drinking his urine. He was like, "Yeah, do you want some?" She's just like, "No, I'll pass." But I'm like, that guy's a lot smarter than everyone
Yeah.
knew.
And he also got that part right because if you drink urine with another person and you exchange urine, you also get the immunity boosting benefits of their water and the way it was designed mixed with yours. My mentor in doing this was Doc Mike Whittor out of Chicago. And he would prove to his clients, now he's had about 50 different clients exchange urine with him. He drank the urine of people with cancer, diabetes, all you name it, the worst of the worst, and nothing happened. He said the remedy is in the water. And then I started drinking some of my students at some of the gatherings, and I found like, wow, there's something about it. It boosts your immunity. Either that or I was drinking urine from 25-year-olds. But so you can do that. You can exchange your water with another person, regardless of gender, and get the benefits. Not everybody wants to do that, but it'll only help.
Like, yeah, it could be even more healthy to do it from somebody who's sick to get the immunity, like the vaccination. But
You
oh
get the
shoot.
all
Yeah.
that, everything that was built into it. Now, there's a woman in Gloria Charlene, if you heard of her yet.
No.
She's a COVID survivor, and she healed COVID in the vax with urine therapy. She
Wow.
came on a Jonathan Otto Health Revolution show in Florida. She gave her testimonial, and it got caught and picked up by all kinds of people, and that turned into a movement of COVID survivors who are using urine therapy.
Wow, that's good to know. Awesome.
So, um, because of her courage and her willingness to go on camera and to speak up, she's been on multiple shows, platforms, and events, and has been helping out a whole lot of people.
So can you provide a link for that, or like the
Yes,
name, or just
hold on a second.
Yeah,
after you
his supporter.
Let me give you her Facebook group.
the COVID survivor? So how many vaccinations did she have?
I don't remember.
Okay, I'll look it up.
All right, this is her Facebook group. That's one of them. And her name is Gloria Charlene. She's on Instagram. She's on X. You'll find her all over the place.
Okay, thank you.
She brought on some other people. We did a couple of podcasts together. A gal named Nancy who had her face was all red. She had some kind of disease where her face was turned all red. She was using urine therapy day in and day out, and now her face is beautiful. All the red spots gone. The same with eczema, same with all kinds of health problems. People are getting their life back.
Oh
Any
yeah,
questions?
what's the ingredient? Like I know, yeah, what's the ingredient? I know like urea is in there, but there's like a hidden like way of they spelled it differently or something.
Well, urea, which is in a lot of beauty and skincare products like Murine and well, you'll have to look it up, but there's a lot of products that use urea. This is going to take me off on another subject, but let's talk about it anyway. For the general public to not know what they're hiding in their ingredients, they market it under the word carbamide. So if you look on the side of a beauty care product and you see carbamide, well, carbamide is urea,
Oh, that was it.
all right?
Yeah.
And where do you think these large corporations get large quantities of urine from?
Horses. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yes, that's one of the sources, but what kind of horses?
Mares.
Mares. What kind of mares?
I don't know. I'm not much.
Pregnant mares. Pregnant,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
which means these horses are now trafficked. They're horse slaves. They got to keep them pregnant so they can keep getting that certain type of quality of urine from these horses, which is not, it's cruel what they do to the horses.
Yeah, cool.
The other source is porta potties. If you, as a gentleman, use a porta potty, you'll notice there's two places in the toilet area. There's the toilet, and there's an opening where you can stand and urinate in that one side of the opening. Well, if you notice that when you pee standing up, you don't see it join in with the blue dye in the toilet because it's being kept in another compartment on the side of the porta potty. Well, they double dip, no pun intended. They resell it to the industry. They sell it to skincare. They sell it to the nutritional people. That's what they do with porta potties. It's brilliant, and it's not. So it depends on how you look at that. There was a video
At
going
least they're
around.
not getting taxed for it.
Yeah, I know that would have been, yeah, that would have been Caesar's thing.
Mm.
There's a video that's maybe I can find it somewhere. They have these standing urinals in Paris where you would have an area that's semi-hidden on the side. It's out in the public. They'd bring it out if there's a concert or an event. And a guy could stand there and pee in this little area, and it would go in, it would collect and go down into the drain. And people would only see their back. They wouldn't see what's going on in the front. Well, some guy was on camera and he would put a used coffee cup in one of the in the areas where guys would pee, And when the person would pee in the cup and they would walk away, he would grab the cup and drink their urine. I thought the
Genius.
guy's genius, but it depends on how they would interpret it.
Yeah.
I thought, I mean, if that was me, I'd be collecting it. I'd be just, put containers and take it home and you save it for bathing.
Oh yeah. Have like fill up a whole pond. I'm sure the fish probably would thrive.
Speaking of fish, did you know that a lot of the ocean is made of fish piss?
Yeah, the Ganges River in India, like people, it's mysterious. They just go in and they're healed, but they tested it and it's got a bunch of urea in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
The fish, the mammals, the whales. Why do you think they call it sea plasma? Because the minerals and the plasma from the fish urine and whatever else is in there is healing people. They once took sea plasma out of the ocean in Spain, it was. They had this protected area, right? So they separated, so it's just the plasma part, and they found a dog that was sick and they drained its blood and then they reintroduced the ocean water plasma into its body and it healed.
Wow.
So there are actually benefits from using seawater. Now, whenever I go to the ocean, which is almost every day, I will give thanks to the ocean because the ocean has a consciousness and an energy to it and drink of its water before I go in the water. You know, the ocean has consciousness, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that consciousness is in all water on the planet, including your water.
Oh.
It gets, the deeper you go down the urine therapy hole, rabbit hole, the more you realize that you were working with the supernatural water. I mean, it takes the best of you. It comes in and it checks out the plasma and it scans the body. And what it does is it puts together the best of you. And then what do you do with it? You reintroduce it or you recycle it. I mean, the best recycling system is you. And you put it inside your body and you can become the best of you. I hope that was good. I just made that up.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, dive really deep into this. All right, let's pull out the book. Any questions?
Nope.
What have you learned so far?
Oh, nothing. Just kidding.
Name something you learned in today's class so far.
Oh, well, this the COVID and Laura Charlene and that's what I learned. That's the first thing popped in my mind.
Okay. Did you learn anything about the history? Did you learn anything about the ingredients?
Of course, yeah, the
Yeah,
ingredient.
the carbamide, yeah.
Carbamide, porta potties.
Immunoglobulin, oh, never mind.
Globulin,
Globulin.
yeah. I know. Sounds like other things.
Um,
You learned some of the wisdoms? Did you learn any of the wisdoms?
absolutely.
Okay, name one.
I can't name one because I was distracted from my daughter. But anyways,
Well, a good retort to that would have been, I know it internally. I don't have to say it. I know it.
I'll tell it to you telepathically.
Wouldn't it have been great to be able to?
The
It'd been great to say that to the teacher when they were going, well, weren't you paying attention in class? Did you hear anything I had to say? Oh, everything. It's all recorded. It's all in here. I
the
learned that
water
one.
contains
All right.
memory.
It does. It does. You've done that homework. And you learned who Aquaman's real name is.
Oren, of course.
You learned what structured water really is. That's why I like distilled water. The people who inspired me, Bernard Jensen and Norman Walker, that's all they drank other than their juices, and they lived to be 107.
Wow.
And since I'm a practicing immortal, 107 is not even anything. And we're going to go way past that. That's a whole nother conversation. All right. Chapter 6. You don't have a book yet. All right. Anyway, chapter 6. I'm used to students, they have their book in hard copy, but we're just going to go through it anyway. Chapter 6 is the determining factor why urine therapy works for some people and it doesn't work for other people. And is that a bold thing to say? No, it's not a bold thing to say. The lawnmower stopped. I need to open up the windows. I'll be right back. The reason I say that, guys, is because just drinking urine and just doing shivambu doesn't make up for a bad food choices, does not make up for poor eating habits and drugs and alcohol and tobacco and cannabis and all the things people still indulge in and go, well, I drink my urine, I should be just fine. That's my remedy. I said, well, you got to clean up your diet. You got to work on your emotions, your emotional well-being, the things that trigger you and challenge you, the things that cause you to be on guard and be defensive, and you got to learn to relax and meditate and do yoga and clean up your colon and your liver. All these things is what I do in consultations with people, is to design a wellness practice. They not only get their body back, they get their brain back, they get their life back, and then it's up to each individual to practice that every single day. The people who are really thriving and having a great life are doing saturation dosing and are looping throughout the day, or sip looping. You know what sip looping is?
I've heard of it, but
Yeah.
well, it's about having like a little bit of urine instead of drinking 6 ounces
Okay. So,
every I don't know, 6 times a day or
well, you know what looping is.
yeah, to loop.
Yeah, looping is basically drinking everything you collect during the day.
Exactly. Yeah.
It doesn't mean you're fasting. That's just all you're drinking.
Right.
Sip looping is the condensed version of that, where every time you collect, you take a sip, possibly a shot glass worth, and you collect everything else for your topical protocols. And Doc Mike came up with the idea because he found out that people who just took a sip throughout the day were doing like time, what do they call it? What do they call those things when you take pill and it would break apart throughout the day?
Yeah. Time release.
Time release, that was the word. I couldn't find it. Yeah, so it's like time released urine. So if you feel like you don't want to keep drinking all day because you drink, you gotta pee, because why? It's a diuretic. People go, every time I drink, I have to pee. I said, well, that's a good thing, right? And this is the reason why myself and a lot of people stop doing our oral intake of urine around 5 or 6 at night. If you
Yeah, a
want
lot of people are like, I can't eat all raw foods. They'll have to go to the bathroom too many times a day. I'm like, don't you want to keep things moving along?
Yeah. Now in the morning time, I've been doing this practice for I don't know how many years. I will drink a whole quart that I stored over the last 24 hours. I'll drink a whole quart, 24 to 32 ounces of Orin, first thing in the morning, sit on the toilet. I'll have multiple waves of bowel movements. It's not uncommon when your colon is really cleaning out. You'll have 3 or 4 or 5 bowel movements while you're in the bathroom. I like your expression, Dario. So if you ever want to try that, start off with 16 ounces and build up to that.
That's like 2 8 ounce. Here in Canada, it's we do a milliliter. So 8 ounces is going to be 250 milliliters. That will mean it'll be 1 cup. So you do 32 ounces. So that'll be 4 cups in the morning.
4 cups in the morning.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot of urine.
That
How
it's
many mason jars?
one mason jar.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, it's 1 liter, 1 liter. Right? Yeah.
What's so amazing about it is I got the idea from doing the master cleanse. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, the
The
cayenne pepper, lemon,
water, maple syrup.
water, and syrup. Yeah.
Right. So Stanley Burroughs came up with this in the 70s, and I was using that, and it was designed to do an entire GI flush. Instead of just doing an enema where you get the lower end of the large intestines, it would get the whole tube from top to bottom. Well, when I started doing it with Oran, it was even more powerful. It was more powerful, and it was loaded with dense nutrients and minerals and vitamins and all kinds of stuff that was like a whole nother level bump up from Master Cleanse. So if you ever feel like you ever want to experiment and it won't hurt you, try 16 ounces and build up from there.
Okay. That's our homework for the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, your homework for the week is to do a 1 ounce. Yeah,
Yeah, how well you do, Araya?
I haven't gotten to the aged part yet. I did like a shot and then I chased it with regular, fresh, I mean, and I don't know, it kind of burned, but I need to keep studying because, like, obviously I've read a couple things and I know that's the best, but you seem to know that, like, that's like what you said got you into it was the aged, right?
well, I started off with just my connection with Shiva, and I didn't know anything different between fresh and aged back then. But over the years, I've been practicing, and I'm coming up to like 31 years now. Um, aged is the bump up.
It's
Aged
Oh,
is
my
the
bad. Evolved.
evolving is the it's the hack. It's the Orin hack.
Yeah, because
It's just
it's like tons of stem cells like are created while it's evolving. I
constantly.
just need to keep remembering that, and yeah, I'll be able to do it.
Now,
Just not
people,
in my eyes.
well, yeah, yeah. Well, you can dilute it. That's fine. Or just use fresh on the ice.
Oh yeah, for snorting it, does it like burn the age?
You might experience the 3 second sting, but it doesn't last that long. It's just the initial shock at first when all of a sudden you feel a sting or a burn and it goes away. What some people do
Yeah.
is they'll put it in their eyes or they'll put it in their nose, and then they rinse it with water. They'll splash water on their face so the sting doesn't last.
Okay. I think that would be an easier first step for me is snorting that.
So try out all these things um, until you get comfortable with it. The drinking up the nose thing, that takes a while to get to the advanced level to do that. Most people will start off with either the pump or the mesh nebulizer or the snort out of your hands. What I love about the nose is that anytime during the day when your brain gets foggy, you can't seem to track, your creative juices aren't flowing, you take a couple of snorts of Orin up the nose, everything comes back online.
It's somewhat euphoric. Yeah. It
Yes, and
really is.
it's a difference between night and day. And throughout the day, since I have this with me, and I'll have one of these with me, or whatever is near me, I can get second and third winds of energy throughout the day. When you're fasting on it, you don't even think about food.
Hmm.
It's amazing to just run and do what you do and your projects and your work and your play. And coming around 4, 5, 6 in the afternoon, it dawns on you never thought about food all day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the whole reason about fasting is what? Take a vacation from food.
Yeah.
Because we're all neurotic as hell around food.
That's right.
We've been given all kinds of ways that they think is food and it's not food, but we didn't know we could say no. And a lot of things we ate growing up was because that's all that was on the plate. And that's what our parents kept at the house until you started eating at grandma's house or your friend's house and you realize, oh, there's other things to eat. Any questions so far?
Nope.
Next class, we're going to go into, let me look at the outline here. Let me ask you this question. You probably already know the answer. How did your diet affect the color, the taste, and the smell of your urine?
Well, the cleaner the diet, the better the urine or the urine will taste, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
And sometimes you taste salt in your urine. You go, what is that? And you remember what you ate last night. The thing is,
Yeah,
that we don't necessarily consider is that if you buy pre-made food, it already has salt in it.
yeah, pre-made.
Packaged food,
yeah.
bottled, bagged, restaurant food, and it's not the right salt.
Definitely not.
That's what turned me off from drinking it like a year or two ago. I still had a little bit of salt in my diet, and I tried it for the first time and I was like, it's too salty. I couldn't do it. But now that I don't have salt, or even when I was doing a little bit of sea moss, I couldn't like taste salt in there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, because sometimes it'll taste salty, sometimes it tastes pungent, sometimes it tastes um, earthy, sometimes it tastes metallic. And this is your litmus test. You can find out what you've been eating, what you need to change. Because ultimately, when you've been doing fruitarianism, raw foodism, not only gets clearer and lighter, you don't smell ammonia. You look forward to the next drink. I mean, mine tastes like coconut water at some point. And I drink a lot of coconut water. So that's it. When people will say, "Oh, I can't drink my urine because it tastes too salty or it tastes too bitter or it tastes too this and that and the other thing," I said, "What do you eat?"
Right.
And that's the great reveal. People
Right.
have to not only be honest about what they ate, also they have to be willing to change the way they eat. You have to change our approach to food, right? You want to look at what do you eat? What do you combine your food with? How big are your proportions? Do you chew thoroughly? Do you eat late at night? I mean, all these things affect your digestion, affect your health. And one thing I recommend to everybody to look up, since I've been teaching health and nutrition all these years, is you want to look up chemistry and composition of foods. And you also want to look up a food combining chart. Did I spell it right? Food combining chart. A food combining chart will let you know what enzymes are required to break down what food. You find out that protein and starch, not a good choice. Starch and fruit, not a good choice. Protein and fruit, not a good choice. Eating melons with anything other than melons, not a good choice. So the food combining chart will give you a much better way that you can choose your food according to how well it can work together and be broken down and digested. Otherwise, you're going to get bloating and gas and farting, and you may not want that.
Absolutely.
So there's these charts called the food combining chart. There's a lot of people who put charts out there, and when you get a chance and you're not in class, look these things up and study them and see if you're following them, yes or no, and see if you can make some corrections. Okay, you'll do that? Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I still make food for other people, so I should still know these things, even though I kind of like bypassed before I memorized. But yeah, that's pretty easy. Starch and proteins, don't mix those. Don't mix protein and fruit. Got it. Got it.
Right? And melons are in its own category. Melons only combine with melons.
Yeah, like you could eat different kinds of melons and that will still count. It's just,
Cantaloupe, honeydew, cassava,
yeah.
perfect together. They make a great salad if you know, chop all those up and put them all together. Woohoo! Okay. Oral application, protocols, naval soak, history, body mind, discussing UT with others. Class 2, class 3. We might just start on the next class with the protocols
Cool.
because the protocols take some time and it's usually 2 classes worth of protocols.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then after the protocols, you get to find out how to talk to people. You get to find out what kind of questions to ask. You'll learn what are my sessions are like. How do you look into a session? How do you ask these kind of questions? You will learn let me look at the book. I kind of know, but I just want to double check. You'll learn the protocols. You'll learn how to make treatment suggestions when someone has a health condition, whatever the condition is, which protocols to recommend for that condition. Right? So if someone has an allergy or respiratory condition, you'll suggest them. You want to do nose drinking, foot soaks, enemas, body massages. So you're going to learn how to do treatment suggestions, how to design protocols for people, how to clear the mind of negative associations, beliefs about UT, theories, myths, how to bust through all that, how to survey a client. Now, this will be several classes after that. How to present it professionally, if you guys ever want to go professionally. How to work with the media, social media, how to turn this into a career. Not everybody wants to be a career UT guy, but I've been successfully doing that, and you're welcome to pick my brain if you want to, turn this into a career. And more and more, we're going to learn that as the classes go on.
Excellent.
That'll be good.
Looking forward
Learning
to
like the business aspect.
Yes. How to talk to doubters and naysayers. And once I started getting on social media, oh yeah, people were coming out of nowhere, calling me names, criticizing and all this. And I stood my ground because I knew they didn't do their research and they just wanted confirmation that this is real, that you could trust them. This is the whole thing anyway. It's a trust issue. Okay. So
All
between
right.
now and next class, if you haven't already, what some people are doing is they're journaling their journey. They're writing down what are they practicing, what kind of improvements are happening, what did they do differently. Some people are nice enough to do before and after pictures. People have been sending before and after pictures of how terrible their foot looked, and then it got better, and their skin conditions or their hair or whatever it is. If you want to keep any kind of journal, that'll help you and it'll help others. So between now and next Wednesday, write down all your questions.
Okay.
Whatever comes up that it's good to write them down right after class so they're fresh. So between now and next week, if something comes up for you or somebody presents something about urine therapy to you and you didn't know how to respond, you want some help with that, bring it to class.
Okay.
Dario, anybody else have a question?
You have a question, Nancy? No question for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna, first, if anything, I'll probably maybe email you maybe, but anyways.
Totally fine. I'm always available for consultations. We have a beginner's class that's going to start at the end of this month for people who just want to do your basics, urine therapy 101, because the one we're doing is a lot more advanced.
Well,
And
I thought this was the beginner's class.
Oh, it's a lot deeper. The beginner's class won't go into how to answer people and how to become a professional.
This is perfect. So I'm looking forward to this, and hopefully I have some more questions for you next week. So for now I'm just assimilating everything. So
Good, good. So did you guys learn something today that you didn't know before?
well, I told you already. I'm
Yeah.
going to go ahead.
Did your daughter
Oh,
learn something?
yeah, just like a lot of things.
Well, good.
Yeah, whenever I had a question pop up randomly, this helped a lot. And I'm gonna have to play it back too to memorize like
Okay.
the common question, the common answer you gave. That was very detailed.
Perfect, perfect. So when the class is over and everything is stored at Zoom, I'll upload it and put it on YouTube and Rumble and send you guys a link so you have it to review or to share.
Excellent.
And thank you so much for being part of this class and this adventure called Shivambu.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you, Brother Sage. It was really nice to meet you, Maximus.
Nice to meet you too.
They,
Ci vediamo next week.
yeah, see you there.
Thank you, Brother Sage.
Oh, you're worth it, guys.
Yeah.
Aloha.
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 You know what that means?
That means like aloha, right? Like or hello.
No, this is a shaka. And
Hang loose.
it either means hangs loose or when
Hang loose. That's it. That's what I want to
also
say.
means respect. Like when somebody lets you into the line of traffic, they stop the car, they flip on the lights, they let you in, and everybody throws a shaka, that means respect.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
still learning.
I know. It's we're evolving. What can I say?
Yeah, we're learning every single day to the last day that I die, at least, you know what I mean? So yeah, you are, Matsy. Anyways. Okay,
Amen.
guys, nice to
Be with you today.
see you next week.
All right, guys. Reach out between now and then if you have any questions, or if you can't make it, let me know. We can always reschedule.
Okay, no problem.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. See ya. Ciao. Atreya.
Aloha.
Okay. Aloha.
Aloha.